Take Two, Part 2. We don't know if this is Part 2, but we got interrupted. We're ending up with that for the first section, and we're going to continue now on...
whatever the story was.
Yeah, whatever it was. We forgot it. Whatever. You don't know. This is not... This is scientific. Okay.
September.
Bergman-esque, but
Solemn.
But he actually thinks Woody Allen considers this more Kafka-esque. Kafka-esque. September, Great Tour de Force by Mia Farrow.
Not one of my favorites, actually.
This is one of his, Diane Weiss, Sam Waterston, Jack Warden, Ellen Strict, Mia Farrow,
What are your feelings on this one?
You know, this is visually interesting. It's not that successful. And a lot of people approach Woody Allen who don't really follow Woody Allen or only know him because of his ha-ha jokes. And he is a funny guy. He's a great comedy writer. But they don't dig when he's going to interiors. Again, going back to the thing about we like your earlier, funnier ones. There's a lot of people that don't dig this stuff. Cinematically, it's really interesting. I think Interiors is more bleak, and I like Interiors more.
I do too.
Right?
It's harsher in a way that it makes it more interesting, and this one doesn't hold your attention, I feel like, in the same way, because it's less bleak.
Lower tier, and it's lower tier not because it's less bleak or because it's not a comedy, really.
Right.
It looks gorgeous, and Carlo De Palma is the DP on this, the director of photography, so it's a different look now. He's kind of switched to this. I forgot what the switchover period was.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I want to just see who did Radio Days, because Radio Days is a gorgeous, gorgeous film. Carlo De Palma. I mean, this is a stunningly beautiful, this is probably the richest, most beautiful color. It's fun. When I think of color movies of him, the two movies I think about, for some reason, are Radio Days and a movie we haven't gotten to yet, Alice. And I like Alice. That's one that people don't even think about. Maybe never heard of it. Anyway, that was September.
Yep.
Now we're going to go October. Another problematic film, Another Woman. Martha Plimpton, Gina Rowlands, John Houseman, Gene Hackman, Ian Holm, Mia Farrow, Sandy Dennis, Blythe Danner, Betty Buckley, Philip Bosco.
Again, not one of my favorites.
Yeah, not one of my favorites. But this is where he brings in the Sven Nykvist as a DP, does this from the Bergman films. I got to watch this one again. There's a certain period. This is a hard one to watch, but...
Another Woman.
Another Woman. Now, we're going to go real fast. This is an anthology. Scorsese, Coppola, Woody Allen, New York stories.
Really great, actually. They're not all great all the time, but parts of them are really good.
My favorites are the Scorsese thing. They use Procol Harum song over and over again. Nick Nolte's an artist. I know we're digressing here. And they use Whiter Shade of Pale. The Coppola thing I don't think works that well. I love him when basically his mother gets sawed in half. Because Woody Allen used to study magic and did as a kid magic shows. So there's a magic scene in here on that. But there we go. Great film. Top 10 film, in my opinion. What do you think? Crimes and Misdemeanors?
I don't know if it's in my top 10 anymore.
Top 10. When do you know, the protagonist, well, this is about goodness, badness, getting away with something, guilt, religion, God.
All the funniest topics.
Exactly. Hysterical, you know. What you believe in, getting away with something, murder, Hitchcockian in a way.
Just exploring human nature, like, are we still good if we do bad things and get away with them and things like that. Complicated, you know.
Martin Landau is in it and is great. Oh my God. And Angelica Houston, Mia Farrow. I love this movie, and it goes in a direction. It's really interesting the direction it goes in.
That's true.
Anyway, I like that. Now, underrated gem. This is probably in the middle period or something. Alice. Little Magic again, Japanese mysticism, not Japanese, Chinese herbs and things. Am I wrong?
No, you're correct.
Did it just get darker in here?
I did.
It did.
Alice.
Anything you want to say about it?
Not really. I'm kind of, again, not one of my favorites, but, you know, that's it.
Okay, that's it. Alice doesn't live here anymore. One of my favorites, top tier. Black and white, gorgeous cinema. Who did the cinematography on this one? Oh my God. Carlo De Palma again.
Super fun.
Oh, this is like the 30s film noir, but to me it reminds me of the 30s of Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, the Hollywood horror monster movies. The way it's shot with and also like Fritz Lang, M, and very early Hitchcock, and Carl De Palma, but Kate Nelligan, Kenneth Mars, John Malkovich, Madonna, Julie Kavner, Fred Gwynne, who was Herman Munster, Mia Farrow, John Cusack, and Kathy Bates.
John Cusack's first Woody Allen appearance,
right?
Which is great. Love him.
He did a few, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, top tier.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Top tier of top tier. Not one of his funny ones, but great movie, right?
Which is amusing because on the back it says smart and funny.
I could have written that. I could be a writer. Wow. Okay, what can I say?
This wouldn't be my top tier.
Liam Neeson. I will find you. Okay. Now, the problematic, let's make it work because we're on a schedule to shoot movie. Manhattan Murder Mystery.
True.
This was in pre-production during Woody's personal situation. So he had to very quickly, or over a period of time, replace the lead role. Mia Farrow obviously bowed out. And his old friend, Diane Keaton, came in and was in this movie. Angelica Houston, Diane Keaton, Woody Allen, Alan Alda.
I like Alan Alda.
Yeah,
I always like him, but
good movie, not one of his best, you know, but it works.
Yeah,
right.
It's good.
Okay. Top tier. Both over Broadway. Say no more. Say no more. Say no more. Diane Wiest. I think did she win her Academy Award for this one? Maybe, or was it Annie? Or was it? I think she might have been nominated for this one, but she didn't. Maybe she won both. We didn't research that.
Nope. Because who cares about awards? He doesn't, so why should we?
1994, great concept, right? You're making a movie, or you're putting on a stage play or a musical or something, and you get money from the mafia. And of course, the head mafia guy wants your girlfriend to be the lead in it. But Diane Wiest is great. Again, John Cusack again, right? You seen this one? Who plays? He's the writer. He's the young writer.
Oh, that's right. That's
John
right.
Cusack.
Yeah.
And Chaz Palminteri and what's her name? Hi. The sister of, you remember her? She played Chucky's bride in the Chucky movies.
Tilly? Jennifer Tilly?
Meg Tilly. Jennifer Tilly. Meg Tilly's sister. All right, we can move on from that one. Now, another woman wins an Academy Award for acting in a Woody Allen movie. It's Mira Sorvino. See, he writes for great women. Now, of course, woman gets an Academy Award when a guy writes a role for her playing a hooker. But My Mighty Aphrodite is a really funny movie.
It is really funny.
It's funny. It's just top tier, and it's hysterical.
I don't know if it's like perfect movie.
No,
but
it might be it might be in the second tier.
It's
the second
maybe.
tier.
It's really a good one. It's fun.
Yeah, there are a few issues I have with it actually. Who's the DP? It doesn't matter. But Olympia Dukakis, Michael Rappaport, Helen Bonham Carter, Claire Bloom, Woody Allen, F. Murray Abraham. Great movie. You know, middle period.
Everyone Says I Love You.
Is this the musical? No. Which one's this?
I don't really remember that one.
Yeah, this is the one. Okay, Woody Allen had this interesting concept, I believe, where he wanted to do a musical, but he wanted to hire people who couldn't sing or don't normally sing. And apparently, once he cast it, like he cast, who's in this one? God, how come they print this shit so small? Goldie Hawn, Woody Allen, Goldie Hawn, Alan Alda, Drew Barrymore, Edward Norton, Tim Roth.
Drew Barrymore's first appearance.
In a Woody Allen movie. And Edward Norton, his first and last, maybe.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell the actors they had to sing in the movie until they came to the set, apparently. Can you imagine? Like, if I got cast, I'm not a singer, and I had to sing in a movie. Middle rated, don't you think? It's not like...
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't remember this one very well at all, but I'm trying to see what year it was.
Like 96-ish, 95, 96. Okay, next. Deconstructing Harry. The original working title of this movie was The Meanest Man in the World. And he goes to hell, and the devil's played by Billy Crystal. That's loads of laughs right there.
This one is funny.
It is funny. Again, this is middle level Woody Allen. Deconstructing Harry.
Yeah, it's funny.
Now, this Celebrity, this is one of my personal favorites. Didn't get a lot of love. It got criticized because a lot of people thought that it starred Kenneth Branagh, and everyone thought that Kenneth Branagh basically played Woody Allen.
I mean, there's always kind of a character that you feel like kind of takes over that neurotic character, particularly when we move forward from this point. You see him writing this character that he would have played perhaps if he were younger and could play it. I think moving forward that happens more often, and you do see it, but I think for the first time very apparently in this one. Exactly.
And interesting, his whole concept for this, and this was done in, what is it, early 90s or something? And what's interesting about this is Woody Allen started saying even before the bullshit we're going through now is celebrity. Everyone's a friggin' celebrity. You get captured by terrorists. You fall into a well and they rescue you. You know, you're a hostage and you become a celebrity after it happens. Famke Janssen is in this, big crushy. Mazzy has a big crush on Famke Janssen is in it. The tall...
Leonardo DiCaprio's first.
DiCaprio is in it.
Yeah.
First,
Melanie Griffith.
The tall South African woman who played in Mad Max, the new Mad Max movie.
Theron.
Charlize Theron is in it. Winona Ryder, I believe, is in it.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Mantegna, who was in a couple of his movies, also in Alice. Michael Lerner. But I like this movie a lot.
Great, yeah.
Is this in black and white? I think it is. And it's a beautiful film. Sven Nykvist, there you go. Sven Nykvist was the director of photography on this. I love it. This is a personal favorite, top tier. Sweet and Low Down.
One of my favorites.
Talk about it.
I don't know that I can accurately discuss it well, but basically follow this very kind of guitar player who plays Django Reinhardt-esque kind of guitar tunes, and he's totally full of himself, and it's a character that kind of blends a lot of different kind of guitarists together, I think, but this very maniacal, what is the word I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, maniacs together.
10,000 Maniacs.
And kind of this very, the romance that he has with this very sweet girl that he kind of picks up along the way.
Who's deaf. She's deaf and mute.
Yeah.
She's mute.
She's mute. She's not deaf.
Right.
Yeah.
Samantha Morton.
It's great. It's wonderful. The music in it is incredibly good. Sean Penn just plays this really wonderful. I just can't. It's so good.
It's great. This originally was going to be Woody Allen. He wrote it for himself, and he put this. This is one of those scripts he actually did put away in a drawer, and years later he picked it up, and Sean Penn played it. And the whole thing in this is that he's flirting. The Sean Penn character is flirting, has this thing about Django, and Django kind of fleetingly passes by a couple of scenes. He's out there, so Django is like he wants to be as good as this gypsy guitar player.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Top tier.
And the music is incredible
Yeah.
in it. Yeah.
Now, I think this is
Top tier.
Small Town Crooks. What's good about this is he brought Elaine May out. If you don't know Elaine May, Nichols and May, Mike Nichols, who became a movie director, did The Graduate and a lot of other movies. Comic writer. They had a whole thing on Broadway in New York back in the early 60s, I think, late 50s, probably early 60s. Funny people. Elaine May was brought back into this. Tracy Ullman's in it. Michael Rappaport again. John Lovett. It's a hysterical movie. It's about a bank job. They're trying to break in from one building to another to do a bank job, and to get through to get into the storefront, this empty storefront, they make a phony cookie stand, a cookie storefront, and of course, that all goes haywire. But the cookies become a huge success, like Mrs. Fields in a way. But it talks about the class. This is really about class, the class wars, the mix of different classes, because all of a sudden they're nouveau riche. They made all this money, and they try to kind of blend into high society and money, and so it goes beyond just a typical caper movie. Middle period, it's on the edge of top tier. There's some of it that's hilarious. This is one of the movies that I keep going back to. I mean,
Yeah.
I watch this a lot. Small Town Crooks. What can we say?
Curse of the Jade Scorpion.
You know, this didn't work.
And I don't think he thinks it did.
Yeah, I mean, it's got good people in it. It's got Woody Allen, it's got Helen Hunt, it's got Dan Aykroyd, Charlize Theron again. It's just, I gotta watch this again. I don't remember really. It just didn't quite work, right?
Yeah.
This is in the bottom of the list. Okay, next. Hollywood Ending. Do I even remember what the fuck this is about? Did this work? No. Well, first of all, this is my personal thing. I hate to say this. I'm not a fan of Deborah Messing. I think she, yeah. Anyway, Deborah Messing. Tia Leone is in it. George Hamilton, Woody Allen, Treat Williams, Mark Rydell. I don't know. What do you think of
It
it?
wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Lower tier. Okay. The worst movie Woody Allen ever made. Of course, what? 2 thumbs up. Hey, you're both dead. Doesn't matter. Those reviewers are dead. Horrible movie. I've seen this twice. I really tried. I love
Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci. Oh my God, I think she's amazing. She takes chances. Danny DeVito's in. Jimmy Fallon, really? Stockard Channing, Jason Biggs, American Pie on his crotch guy. Terrible movie.
Yeah, don't bother.
Now, this is problematic. Lower tier again. Melinda, schizophrenic, but it goes kind of 2 parallel scenes. Good concept, good idea, didn't work. Right? Doesn't it go through like back and forth, 2 storylines with the same woman, right?
Yes.
Great concept, F for execution.
Yeah, Will Ferrell is actually playing the Woody Allen character in this, and I think that is part of what's irritating.
But
about
badly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
horrible.
part of what doesn't carry it off, among plenty of other things. But
Now, this is one of Woody Allen's best films. Not
Absolutely.
one of his comedies. A comedy tragedy, a great romance. Woody Allen not all of a sudden, but starts making films in Europe. He gets financing from Europe, so part of the trade-off is get out of fucking New York. You know, his earlier films we talked about early on, he did a few in San Francisco. Then pretty much everything is in New York in that area because he wants to sleep in his own bed and has his own toothbrush. Which actually you can have your own toothbrush wherever you go. Match Point.
So amazing. And actually the music we're listening to now is from Match Point, and the soundtrack to Match Point is incredibly good. Just so good.
Opera, Enrico Caruso.
The very beginning of recorded music history, you know, he did like over 200 recordings or something at the very beginning. One of the most recorded early recording musicians ever, I think. 78s, all on 78s, almost 278s.
That's the archivist talking. That's amazing. Now, this is a stunningly beautiful photograph movie.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's gut-wrenching. It kept us on the edge of our seats. We saw it together, I think.
No, I saw this in New York when I was in Manhattan.
Never mind.
We
We
talked.
didn't.
We didn't.
We
saw
talked about it.
We saw it the same weekend, and I was in New
that's
York.
right,
You were out
that's
here,
right,
and we
yeah.
texted each other about
That's
it.
right.
I saw it in a theater on Union Square in Manhattan. To me, this is where I fell in love with Scarlett Johansson. The way they set up and photographed Scarlett in this. I mean, beautiful woman, but just she's incredible. Again, another movie about class wars and about class and making things happen. And oh God, who's the DP on this? I'm not. Is this Sven again? Sven Nykvist? Anyway, perfect movie, not a comedy.
So good. Yeah.
Gorgeous romance. Oh, that's kind of. I need a little light on there. I
Kind
like
of,
that.
it has a twist at the end you won't be expecting. It's just, it says on the back a genuine triumph, and I would say that is the true statement.
And it says on the front, a marvelously sexy thriller. It's a very sexy
It is
film.
very sexy film. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, I love this movie.
It's so good. And again, the soundtrack is incredibly good. If you're interested in like older Italian opera and you need kind of like a taster, I think you cannot go wrong with picking up the soundtrack. It's a great foray into that. Lots of Verdi operas, and I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And then the next year, Woody comes back because England's luring financing for his films, and he makes Scoop again with Scarlett and Hugh Jackman, Ian McShane.
We had high hopes for this.
High hopes.
It was terrible.
Bottom. Terrible movie.
We
Bottom
laughed
of the
and we just
shithole.
died laughing
Shithole
about how
movie.
bad it was.
Shit. Horrible film. Lower tier. Top 10. Below top
Yeah,
10.
It's definitely like right next to that other terrible one.
Okay. Cassandra's Dream. England again. You know, I saw this when it first came out, and I wasn't too thrilled about it. And I watched it again about 2 months ago, and I enjoyed it a lot more. There's a bit part, plays this one girlfriend that I think which character is lusting over, and it's played by Haley Atwell, who I have a crush on also, who is Agent Carter in the Civil War movies, the Civil War Captain America movies, before she got known. When she does a lot of British theater. Agent Carter, as I said, she's in Endgame at the very end. She's the one that Captain America finally goes back to, and the love interest there. Young version of her, not young version, young woman. That's before, anyway, what am I saying? Not a great movie, but it got better when I saw it again recently, because I kept thinking how bad it was. But Ian
McGregor and
Haley Atwell's, alphabetical order. Yeah,
Colin
Sally
Farrell.
Hawkins, Ian McGregor, Tom Wilkinson. Great cast, just, you know. Okay.
So good.
Finally,
So
he
good.
redeems himself again with Scarlett Johansson.
So good.
And he brings, and Scarlett Johansson and Rebecca Hall, who are the friends from America going to Spain for the summer to Barcelona. And
Another
of course,
incredibly sexy movie.
very sexy. And
So good. Great freaking soundtrack.
yeah, great soundtrack, right?
Excellent. Yeah.
And he brings in Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz. Oh my God. Sexy,
So
sexy,
good.
sexy. Beautiful. Erogenous. Is that a word
No.
for a film? Sorry.
So good.
Gorgeous film. Surprises.
Twists, turns.
Twists.
Lots of complex interpersonal relationships and just truly wonderful. Like, truly wonderful. And incredibly good soundtrack, in my opinion.
Cuatro personas en la cinema en la España de Barcelona de todos amores. I'm just shitting with you.
This one and Match Point are definitely in my
top tier
list.
And
absolutely.
yeah, and I think it's time for Scarlett to do another movie with Woody. You know. Okay, we're gonna go a little fast. Okay, this didn't quite make it.
Whatever Works wasn't in this movie.
Yeah, whatever works. Now, I'm a big fan of what's his name?
Such a big fan.
Larry David. Larry David. And of course, I love Evan Rachel Wood. Now, the thing about this is a script that Woody had, and at one point he was going to play this part, and he put it in a drawer. And the Hollywood writer's strike happened, and he either had to write something really fast because he had to get something into production fast to make it happen. He decided to pull an older script out of his drawer, and he pulled this out, and he rejiggered it a little bit. I love Larry David, and I got to watch this again because maybe it's better than I remember, but maybe it's not.
But I don't remember it being that good.
Didn't quite work.
Yeah, neither of us were.
Yeah, Patricia Clarkson, who was great, who was also in Vicky Cristina Barcelona, Ed Beatty Jr., Michael Keaton. Oh, Michael McKean. Never mind. I'm sorry. Spinal Tap guy's in it. Okay, we're getting down to the wire here.
Thank goodness.
You'll meet a tall, dark stranger.
No, I can't remember this one very much, but I don't think it worked very well.
Yeah, it's Antonio Banderas, Josh Brolin, Anthony Hopkins, Gemma Jones, Frida Pinto, and Naomi Watts. It's okay. It's not great. Yeah, she doesn't remember it. I don't remember it. Not a great lower tier Woody, right?
It's forgettable. I don't remember. I think I liked it more than you did, but it was forgettable either way. So, take that as whatever.
Out of nowhere, he's getting all this financing in Europe, and he does this movie in Paris.
So good.
This is Woody Allen's biggest grossing film ever. People who hate Woody Allen went to see this movie, maybe because Woody Allen's not in it. It's the Woody Allen part is played by Owen Wilson. Who's not really Woody Allen, but in the old days that would have been.
It would have been his character.
Michael Sheen is in it. Rachel McAdams, Marion Cotillard, Carl Bruni, Adrian Brody, Kathy Bates. Great film.
So good.
Probably a safer film in a way.
Yeah, but it was so good. We saw this one together.
Okay.
I think we did. I think you had already seen it, but you didn't tell me anything about it, and then we went to go see it together. But it was so good. I thought
it made a shitload of money.
Yeah, most diehard Woody Allen fans, I don't think it's that great because it's more.
I think it's because here's the deal.
Commercially,
I'm just happy
open.
he had a big hit again. He did. I mean, after all these films, that's what we're talking about. The 10, multiplied to 50. He keeps coming back. Every 4, 5, or 6 films, he makes a perfect movie. I think this is a really good movie. I'm not saying that, but it's like, okay, I've been following. This is where you like some band and you follow this band. They're the cult band, and then all of a sudden REM makes "Losing My Religion." You go, what the fuck? That's a great song, but what about those 6, 7 friggin' albums that maybe before that? So maybe it's a little of that.
Well, I don't know because there's kind of like a current, and then there's kind of the period. The period piece, kind of the cutaways into that happened with this film and the storyline, and I don't want to give it away just in case you haven't seen it. But it focuses on La Belle Époque, and again, there's great music, and there's it's beautifully shot, and it's very interesting. The concept of the storyline is interesting. I don't know. It's more complex in terms of storyline than your average, movie that you would see in regular theaters. But this one spent a lot of time in regular theaters, and anything that challenges people to see something more interesting is always a good thing in my book.
People went to see it. Following year, he goes to Rome, he gets financing in Italy, and he makes this movie. Now, this movie didn't do anywhere near as good. I love this movie. Not top tier, but
Yeah.
second to third. Like
Yeah,
in the,
second.
maybe like 25 to 26-ish. I don't know, 28, 30. There's a couple of great comedy bits in terms of opera singing in the shower. And I think, again, this is a movie that I liked when I watched it, but I saw it 2 or 3 times after that, and a movie that I loved more beyond that. And it's with Ellen Page and Jesse Eisenberg, Greta Gerwig, who made, she won nominated for director in film. What's that movie in Sacramento? The little girl in Sacramento, not Juno, no, never mind. Penelope Cruz again, Roberto Benigni, Alec Baldwin, Woody Allen. I love this movie. Blue Jasmine.
Blue Jasmine.
Okay, what I liked about this is just as I was, the year I was moving out of San Francisco, and he all of a sudden after 40
these
years,
away.
he makes a movie in San Francisco.
And there's some shots in our old hood.
Yeah, Mission. A lot of it was shot in the Mission District, and that's where the apartment that they shot in. And I actually went one day on 21st Street. That place, it was a wine bar. You used to say records out in that apartment building beyond it. I think it's 20th or 21st Street. You don't know this unless you're from San Francisco. And I saw Woody Allen when they're coming down, when they're directing. I kind of stood around, one of those gawkers that you see in movie sets, because I'm a big fan. Not a great
you didn't
movie.
Notice.
Okay, writing for women, Cate Blanchett wins Best Actress for this movie.
Yeah.
I would say the movie is really good. It's not great. There's some
Agreed.
good parts of it. You know how you see movies that are shot in your neighborhood or your city,
And you just love them because
you love them, but then you could just, like, going back to Steve McQueen's Bullet, the chase scene. All of a sudden they're on Russian Hill driving, and all of a sudden they're on Potrero Hill, and they just turn the corner.
the continuity.
Yeah, continuity
problems
fuck-ups, but
and-
right.
But that's because you live there, and
Well, I didn't
nobody
like
else knows.
what they had. The two like lunks. Is lunks a word? Lunks a
I
word.
don't think so.
No, but they had Andrew Dice Clay and Bobby maybe Cannavale that sound like these Long Island like mooks. You don't see that in San Francisco. I mean, the guys from Oakland, guys from San Jose, they aren't mooks, so they almost seem like the longshoremen from Jersey, coming
But
in.
that's like his.
That's his shtick, but it didn't work in San Francisco.
No, it doesn't work.
That's
in
my
San
cut.
Francisco. Yeah, agreed.
I do like this movie a lot. I like her performance. The more times I've seen it, it's so sad in so many ways. But there's some funny bits. But of course, anything shot in San Francisco from a native San
Always a
Franciscan
big
is great.
fan.
Magic of the Moonlight.
Nah.
Okay. Irrational Man. It had some moments, but Elevator. That's the elevator thing is a big plot point, and that's the Joker's in this. What's his name? Joaquin Phoenix.
I really wanted to like this one. And
yeah, Parker
there
Posey.
are parts of it that I do like, and I love Parker Posey, and I like
Emma Stone.
Joaquin Phoenix, but it didn't. I don't know. I want to watch this one again because I feel like maybe it's better than I remember.
Okay, Woody Allen makes a movie that he doesn't make. I mean, he acts in a movie. He didn't write this movie.
And it's so good.
This is a great movie.
Fading Gigolo.
Gigolo. It's with
really funny and touching.
John Turturro, Woody Allen, Vanessa Paradis, Liev Schreiber, Sharon Stone, and Sofia Vergara.
It's really, really good.
He basically is this old guy, and he becomes like a male pimp for John Turturro, just right there.
How could that not be hilarious?
I need to give a shout out, but I can't fucking see. It's so dark. Who directed this movie?
Let me see.
You can see in the back. It's dark. You can read that? I'll give you $1. There we go. Okay. We're gonna go move on. Okay, she can't read it either. But anyway, not American Gigolo. What is it called?
Fading
Gigolo.
Gigolo.
Rent it. Watch it on demand. It's there somewhere. You can find it. It's funny. It's entertaining.
John Turturro. Written, directed by John Turturro.
John Turturro directed it. See? Fuck me. Okay. Cafe Society.
You could hire him.
I can hire John. My martini's empty almost. Okay, I love this movie. Top tier. Oh God. Okay, you had to be there.
Top tier.
Don't ever make me laugh when I have food in my mouth. It'll come out of my nose. Okay. Kristen Stewart's in this. Steve Carell, Jesse Eisenberg, Blake Lively, Parker Posey, Kristen Stewart, Corey Stoll, Ken Stott. I like this movie a lot. This is my last favorite movie of Woody Allen. It's gorgeous looking. Kristen Stewart's gorgeous and beautiful and really spot on in this. And Jesse Eisenberg is basically comes to Hollywood. He's told to look up his uncle, who's a movie executive. Again, a period piece, takes place in the 40s, I believe, 30s, 40s, whatever. But has a great look, great feel to it. I don't know, it's not top, it's on the edge of top tier. But it's one that, again, the more I see it, the more I love it. Kind of a deco feeling to it. Great soundtrack, as usual.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful film. And people are skipping over his films. There's a whole thing we can get into, the politics of Amazon did some financing his films, and that ended. In fact, we have a few notes here. He did a movie, a series on Amazon, which I thought was terrible. And I forgot what it's called.
Crisis in 6 Acts.
Crisis in 6 Acts. And it had, what's that singer? The Achy Breaky Daughter singer. Achy Breaky Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It was terrible. It just, he gave him money, had to come up with something, and it just didn't work. Love this one. But he did this one, and this is problematic to me. This was on Amazon. You can watch it for free, Wonder Wheel. In a way, it's the closest he's done to Streetcar Named Desire in a way. It's almost like a play. I got to see it again because I've only watched it once so far.
I kind of like it.
Did you? Okay.
It's got, I don't know, it kind of always reminds me of that story in Annie Hall where he says he grew up underneath a roller coaster. Like his apartment building was literally underneath a roller coaster, and that's kind of a running joke through Annie Hall, and there's something about that cutaway in that film that reminds me of this story in a little, kind of totally tangential, but kind of like that.
And Kate Winslet's always great.
And she's great, and
Justin Timberlake, Juno Temple, and Jim Belushi.
I don't know. I would say this is second tier, but still, I liked it. Second level of 5, I say it's still pretty good.
Well, anyway, I think we're getting down to the wire. I have biographies.
There's
of Woody
also
Allen.
a new film called A Rainy Day in New York, which is not out on DVD yet. It came out this year.
Is that the one in Europe? Now there's a whole situation because Amazon dropped him and his movies. I think it's about to come out in Europe, and he doesn't have American distribution deals because of all the
Weird
political bullshit.
stick.
These are some books of his. If you don't know, Woody during the 60s, 70s, and 80s wrote short stories for Playboy, for The New Yorker, and they're hysterical. I mean, without feathers and side effects. If you like short stories and want to read something hysterical, these are great books. This is a later book. I forgot when this came out. Maybe the 2000s, maybe? I don't know. I'm not
Early
quite sure.
2000s.
Yeah. Another one. And then Eric Lax is an author that wrote a lot of biographies, and he's kind of Woody's artist biographer. Has written this book. And then I have books like the Woody Allen Companion. I have a guest room that has all the Woody Allen books. So every once in a while I get a guest coming through that's staying in the guest room that tells me to take all those fucking Woody Allen books out of the room. Eric Lax again did this book. And then we'll end up with two things.
Yeah, so there's a great documentary about his clarinet playing, which I think we mentioned earlier, about 6 hours ago, called Wild Man Blues. And
He's touring Europe.
came out in '97. It's a really, really interesting look into him as a person, but also interesting kind of viewpoint from the music side.
And you see
again,
the love,
it's-
and you see the love that he has with Soon Lee, his
Love,
wife.
yeah.
How she takes care of him, and she doesn't put up with any shit with him.
Yeah.
And they have a great, great
good
bond. They
relationship,
do, and
yeah.
it's lasted, what, 25 years now, so...
And the kind of ultimate kind of video documentary, Woody Allen documentary, also really good, fun to watch. You can also see just everything about his kind of life and his career and everything, and he really opens up, and it also shows his relationship with his wife and in a way that's really touching and kind of, but also shows, yeah, he's neurotic and whatever, but he's not an asshole.
Woody Allen's a great American filmmaker, great American artist, funny guy. You know, what can you say?
Woody Allen.
Freeze frame.
Thanks, BC.
Thanks. Take care. Mazzy loves you.